Welcome everyone to Begin With Breath Tai Chi. My name is Dr. Adam Potts, the Tai Chi PT, and today is Tai Chi for Gardeners. All right, if you can hear me okay, please type in Team Live if you're here live. If you're on the replay, type in Team Replay. All right, and so today we'll do about a 15-minute Tai Chi flow that's designed to really help people that are gardeners or pretty much anyone that wants better strength in the lower body, more flexibility, greater balance, and reduced stress. All right. And then also, if you're new to our community, please register for your new member webinar. It's going to be this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, US time, and it's via Zoom, so you have to register in order to attend. All right, but you'll get a link to the replay after, so register even if you can't make it. All right, if you can't find the link, type in webinar, and we'll send you the link to register. All right, and then also, we do have two big events coming this summer. All right, so we have an in-person workshop in Asheville, North Carolina. So if you're wanting more information on our in-person workshop, it's going to be June 5th through the 7th. We're going to do a 3-day workshop, and it's going to be really fun. So if you're interested, then just type in Asheville workshop, and then we'll send you the information for that. And then also at the end of June, starting June 25th, we have our level 1 Tai Chi teacher training. So if you're wanting to send this or share this with more people, or you just want to go deeper in your own practice, then you can just type in teacher training and we'll send you more info on that. We have a whole page with information and FAQs, a video and everything. So, all right. And so, oh, by the way, stick around after the flow because I'm going to show you some of the best tips for gardeners, for squatting down, for really making sure you have good biomechanics, or what to do, because sometimes you can't avoid having kind of bad posture when you're gardening, right? You have to kind of twist and bend, but I'm going to show you what to do to counteract it. So stick around, and then at the end, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite quotes as well. All right, so stick around to the end if you can. And by the way, we're getting some weather here in Asheville, so if for some reason my power shuts off, then it's not because I don't like you. So even if the power flickers, it kind of shuts everything off. So I'll just keep recording on my camera though, and then I'll just post the replay as soon as that's uploaded. All right, but at least we're getting some rain. It's good for the gardens, right? So, all right, so without further ado, find a place where you can do some mindful movement. We'll do our Tai Chi Flow. All right, if you're new here, you don't need a lot of space, just enough room to reach out to the sides and enough to where you can take a step forward and take a step back. All right, you can do this sitting in a chair if you want, but if you can stand, I do recommend that. All right, so with this sequence, as always, you don't have to get it perfect. Just follow along the best you can. I'll be your mirror image. You can have a seat at any time. All right, we'll begin with the feet together or as close as you can. The hands can come to the lower abdomen and just taking a few deep breaths in and out. As you breathe in, the belly expands. And as you breathe out, the belly returns toward the spine, abdominal breathing. Breathing in and breathing out, arriving in the body. Coming into the present moment. Just letting go of all the worries, all concerns, all considerations. Just coming into the here and now. And then on the next inhale, you can hold the breath at the top just for a moment, and then let it out with a big sigh. Just letting out tension and stress. Then the hands can float down by the sides. As you breathe in, the arms float up. They circle in front as you gather in the energy, bring it into the heart, and send it down towards the earth, sinking the chi, grounding the energy, feeling rooted into the earth, like roots of a tree. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time, sink the chi. And then from here, step one foot out to the side, either foot, and the arms float up in front, the arms float down, the knees and hips soften. Breathing in, rising up like mist from the lake. Breathing out, floating down like a gentle rain. call this opening the door, the start of the journey. One more time, breathing in and breathing out, or taking as many breaths as you need. And then this time the arms float out to the sides like you're spreading your wings. The arms float down, the palms face up. They float up the midline, pressing up overhead, floating out and down, holding up the sky. Breathing in, rising up. Breathing out, floating down, opening the shoulders and the chest, decompressing the spine. All right, one more time, holding up the sky. And this time the palms face towards the lower abdomen, and then gently turn to one side, the palms open. And then coming back to center, palms come back towards the abdomen, and then other way, the wise owl looks behind. Breathing in, breathing out. Gentle rotation, opening the chest, opening the heart. All right, one more time. The wise owl looks behind. And then circle the arms all the way around and hug the tree right out in front. And then step one foot out a little bit wider. And then from here, the fingertips dip down towards the earth. The hands come forward, all the way up and over, and then down in front of the body, like you're holding a column of air. Digging in the garden. Getting ready for the spring. And just coming down as much as you can comfortably, just letting go of striving. Just being here is enough. All right, one more time, digging in the garden. And then reverse direction. The arms float up and over and down. And then coming back up in front of the body as we harvest from the garden. Enjoying the fruits of our labor. Breathing in, rising up, breathing out. All right, one more time. All right, and then from here, the arms float up in front as you hug the tree, round out, and then step one foot in a little bit closer. And then from here, the hands draw in towards the heart as you step in, and then step out to the corner as you push forwards in space. Drawing back in as you breathe in, and then pushing back out, pushing the mountain. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Really taking your time. One more time, pushing the mountain. And then from here, the hands drop down, making two loose fists pull up towards the heart, and then push back out. Pulling up the weeds, weeding the garden. Pulling up and pushing out. Breathing in. Breathing out one more time, pulling up weeds. And then step the front foot back in, the hands come back in towards the heart, shift the weight as you step in, and then step out to the other corner as you push the mountain. Drawing in and pushing out. Feeling all the sensations that you can, bringing mindfulness to your body. Nice and easy, nice and smooth. One more time, pushing the mountain. And then from here, the hands drop down, making two loose fists, pull the weeds up, bringing the hands to the heart, and then push back out. Hands drop down, two loose fists, pulling up weeds, and then letting them go. Breathing in. Breathing out one more time, pulling up weeds. And then step the front foot back in, hug the tree. Step one foot out a little bit wider. And then from here, the palms face up towards the earth. Then the hands come all the way down the center. As you soften down, the hands brush out to the sides. The hands come back up as you rise up, gathering the seeds. And then planting the seeds into the earth. Coming down just as much as you can comfortably, rising up, and then softening down. One more time, planting seeds. And then circle the arms all the way around and hug the tree. Step the foot in a little bit closer. And then from here, the arms open wide. This hand here scoops under, step in as you catch the moon. The top hand goes behind the back just for now. Step out to the corner. The bottom hand tosses the moon into the sky. And then circle it around again. Toss away, as if you could toss the moon. And then this time the other hand comes back on top. Bottom hand floats up, the other hand pushes down, parting the wild horse's mane. Breathing in, breathing out. Once again, take as many breaths as you need. And don't worry about getting it perfect. Just keep on moving. One more time, parting the horse's mane. And then this time, the bottom hand comes up, the wrists cross up top. Then the arms float down as you circle out and around, and then back up top. The princess on the mountaintop. Breathing in, open. Breathing out, just coming up as much as you can comfortably. One more time. And then step the front foot back in, hug the tree, and soften. The arms open. Then this hand here scoops under, step in as you catch the moon. Top hand goes away just for now. Step out to the corner as you guide the moon into the clouds. Circle it around again. Toss away. This time the other hand comes back on top. Catch the moon. Bottom hand floats up, the other hand floats down, parting the horse's mane, creating tranquility out of chaos. Breathing in, breathing out. All right, one more time, parting the horse's mane. And then the bottom hand comes up, the wrists cross. The arms float down as you circle out and around, and then back up top. Coming back up to the mountain peak. Circle it around again. The princess on the mountaintop. All right, one more time. And then step the front foot back in, hug the tree. And then from here, the hands turn. One hand on top of the other. The bottom hand drops down. And then toss away. The hand waves into the center, and then push forwards, right towards me. Other side, toss away. The elbow bends, the hand comes in, and then the hand comes forward, repulsing the monkey, calming the monkey mind. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Feeling all the sensations that you can. All right, one more time, repulsing the monkey. And then from here, both arms drift on over to the side, then they float down, and then they drift out to the corner. They circle all the way around, and then out to the other corner, making a figure eight, right in front of the body, polishing the table, as if your hands are gliding on a nice smooth surface, making it shine. Gentle rotation, like a moving meditation. Just breathing, being present. One more time, polishing the table. And the hands float down, circle all the way around, and hug the tree. Right out in front, step one foot in a little bit, or step one foot out a little bit wider. And then from here, the palms face each other, and then soften down. Then the hands drift out to the side, coming all the way up and over, and then down the center line of the body, planting the tree. Breathing in, rising up, opening the shoulders, and then sinking down, strengthening the legs. Breathing in, Breathing out one more time, planting the tree. And then circle the arms around and hug the tree. Step the foot in a little bit closer. And then from here, the arms open wide. This hand drops down and drifts over to the other side. The hands switch positions, and then they float across like clouds in the sky. The hands switch again. Wave hands like clouds, drifting across, letting go of any tension, softening the shoulders and the neck, using only what you need. Shifting the weight, you can really lean into it if you like. Breathing in and breathing out, moving like nature with effortless ease. All right, one more time, drift across. Then this time make 2 loose fists and then drag the clouds across the sky, the storm clouds. Then they switch, drift across, breathing in, breathing out. Nice loose fists. Soften any tension. One more time, storm clouds. And the hands drop down, they circle all the way around and hug the tree right out in front. Breathing in, the arms open. Breathing out, the fingertips drift towards each other, the hands float down, the palms face down. Then the hands drift forward, they circle all the way out and around as the hips go back. Then rising up, the hands come back to center, the pebble in the pond, sending waves out in all directions, softening down, rising up. Breathing. Clearing out old stuck energy that's no longer serving you. Making room for the new. All right, one more time, the pebble in the pond. Then the palms face up, one hand on top of the other, right at the lower abdomen. And then this hand floats all the way up and over, and then down the center line of the body. Other side, breathe in as the hand floats up. Breathing out, centering. Creating focus and clarity. Calming the heart, calming the mind. One more time, centering. This time, both arms float all the way up and over, just as much as you can. The hands float down to the waist as you soften. Then circle the hands in front, gather in the energy, bring it into the heart for loving kindness and self-compassion. And then down. One more time, open the heart. Rising up, softening down. This time making a diamond shape with the hands right in front of the heart, and then press out. Sending out all your loving kindness to the world. May all beings be free from suffering. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. Then turning your palms to face yourself, the hands come to the heart. May I be kind to myself. May I feel connected with all beings. May I love myself just as I am. Then the hands can float down to the lower abdomen. You can step your feet together or as close as you can. You can close your eyes or just keep a soft gaze and let your body rock and sway ever so slightly. Bamboo in the wind. Just feeling the sensations in the body. Feel the sensations of the breath. And then bring your attention into your heart, creating an inner smile. Expressing gratitude to yourself for being here today. And And then if your eyes were closed, you can slowly open them. The hands can come together in front of the heart, and we can finish with a bow. All right, thank you all so much for joining me for Tai Chi for Gardeners. All right, hopefully that gets you ready to do some workout in the yard today. Makes a nice warm up, but what it really does is helps to strengthen the legs and create flexibility as well. All right, but really tune into your body right now and let me know how you're feeling and type it in the comments. All right, I'd love to hear about your experience. All right, and then stick around for a few more minutes. I'm gonna give you some of the best tips for gardeners, for body mechanics. All right, so for those that don't know, I'm also a physical therapist, and I've worked with a lot of people, many of them who garden a lot. And so I've learned some tips over the years that have really helped. So yeah, stick around for a few more if you can. Oh, I do have a quote too for the very end. All right. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. Strong and energized. Love it. Oh, great. Angela from the UK. Gardening most of the morning and loved it. Oh, love this. Oh, perfect. All right. Yeah, Tai Chi is really great because it's so connected with nature. So it wasn't too hard to have some movements related to that. Worked out the sciatica. Oh, awesome, Pat. All right, your new hip, thanks. Yeah, thanks to Prater. All right, ready to take on the weeds. Great, thanks everybody for typing in there. All right, well, stick around. I want to show you just a few tips that might help as well for gardening and just some things to think about that really might help you. All right, especially when it comes to avoiding injury if you can. And if you, so anyways, let's start off with just the basic squat, all right? So most people squat in a way that's usually not ideal. So let me just show you from the side how a lot of people squat is when some people squat, they bend their knees first, put all the force on their knees, and then round the back. And now I'm in probably the worst position as far as safety. And then I'm pulling stuff up and digging and all that stuff. All right, let me show you from the front what that looks like too. What I would say probably not to do, all right? So the knees come forward and then we hunch down, all right? All right, so a much better way is to first get your feet wide, all right? That'll give you a nice stable base. It'll start to activate your muscles so that you're not hanging out on your ligaments and joints, all right? And then so when we do a squat, first we have to learn the mini squat, all right? So let me show you from the side because the key to the mini squat is to hinge from the hips. So we want to send the hips back. All right, so see how my hips go back? And my chest has to come forward so that I don't fall over. All right, so if I just go back and then I don't shift my chest a little forward, then I'll fall backwards. All right, so you kind of have to work on that a little bit, but it's at the same time, it's like we're making a V. So it's like a V shape with our hip. All right, so yeah, kind of like a V. All right, and then you can hold your arms out too. All right, once again, we don't want the knees to start the movement because then we put all the forces on our knees. That's going to wear them out over time. And then what happens is once we get to our end, now we have to round the back. And then that starts to put forces on the back that are not too great to do, especially if you're there for like 20, 30 minutes digging and weeding and all that stuff. All right, so instead, send the hips back. Now we activate the thigh muscles instead of the joints. Or instead of putting the stress on the joints, we're activating the muscles. All right, and then at a certain point, you do have to let the knees come forward a little bit. But now the forces are like 20% versus like 100%. All right, so 20% is a lot better. All right, so that way you can still squat down, but just start off by sending the hips back, and then you can come down as much as you want to. You'll have a nice wide stance, so you can really get over it, and so you don't have to hunch. All right, because once again, if my hips are back, if my hips go back, then my back is neutral. All right, and then it can round a little bit. But once again, instead of having like 100% of the forces on it, now it's like 20 or 30%. It's a lot less. All right, so once again, so don't do this and round. So instead, wide stance, hinge from the hips, and then try to keep the back as straight as you can until you can't anymore. And then you can, once again, you don't have to be perfect, but it's gonna minimize the stresses over time. All right, and so that's really the best thing you can do when you're getting down in there, or you can just go on one knee if your knees aren't bothering you. You can get knee pads, but that's probably even better because now you can kind of really keep your back straight is even better, I think. All right, because when you're squatting, you have to round it a little bit, but when you're in one knee, now you can kind of get down there and keep your back even straighter. So that's gonna, but then once again, you might put too much stress on your knee, so you just gotta maybe switch it up too. So I wouldn't recommend staying in the same position for more than like 5-10 minutes. All right, that might even be too long for some people. But if you're here squatting and you're getting down there, then maybe switch to half kneeling and then switch the other side. And so if you vary your postures, that's gonna help out reducing the stress on your joints as well. All right, so proper squat, going down onto one knee. If you can't go on one knee, once again, just do the squat, but just take lots of breaks. All right, so once again, or you can get something like I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like a wheelbarrow or something you can hold on to, and that might help you if you need to get down on one knee, if it's hard to get up and down. Of course, maybe flip it. I'm not sure exactly. I don't have a big garden myself, so. But anyways, what I do think is varying the posture, using help if you need it. All right, so using like something you can hold on to, or even just like like a hoe you can kind of put in the ground and then you can kind of get down. That might be something that might be helpful. So yeah, so those are the big tips. Now, what happens if you can't do that? So, for some reason, I just can't quite get into a good posture. I can't stop every 10 minutes or else I'll never get anything done, right? So what you can do is if you find that you can't get into a great position and you find like, every time I do that, I get up and I'm like, I'm back. So what you can do is reverse posture. All right, so when you're gardening, most people are bent, right? This is called flexion. So it's called spinal flexion. So we're flexing the spine, meaning bending forward. What we need to do is counteract that by extending the spine. All right, so I would recommend every 10, 15 minutes even, depending on especially if you have back issues or a history of back issues. So you're gardening, then take a little break and just do about 10 back bends. So that'll just start to realign the spine. All right, you don't have to go crazy with it, but just enough to start to kind of, because you'll probably do that a little naturally, right? Did you ever get up and you were like, and you just kind of did one of them? Because your body's like, yeah, do that, but you need to do more. So go ahead and do 10 of them and your back will thank you later on. All right, now once again, this isn't for everyone. So this usually helps about 80% of people going backwards, but depending on your condition or if you had surgeries or whatnot, you might want to double check with your physical therapist or primary health care provider for any of these things. But in general, these are usually good for most people, especially the biomechanics, pretty much everyone almost. The back bends, about 80% of people, all right? But it just makes sense, right? If you're flexed all day, we need to reverse that so that you're not walking around like this all the rest of the day, right? So you kind of have to do that anyways, but just do a few more and that'll really help get things more aligned in your spine. All right, it'll put the discs back in place. It's actually something that really helps with people with back pain as well, is the back bends. So I actually avoided doing back bends forever because I always was scared of them. I thought I would be like crunching my spine or something, but it really doesn't work like that. It's actually what most people need because most of us are flexed so much during the day from sitting, driving, on the computer, gardening, or whatever it is. And so it's really good to do reverse posturing, maybe even several times a day. But if you get really sore, take a day off, take a day or two off, especially gardening, you might have to take a day off from even that. So just listen to your body, really, and over time, you'll find your way. All right, but let me know if you have any questions, and then I'll help guide you the best I can. But keep in mind, everyone's different. So the best way to really, especially if you have pain, I always recommend getting a formal evaluation from a physical therapist, because that's our specialty, all right? Really working on biomechanics, helping reduce pain, avoiding pain, or what to do to really just keep your back and knees healthy over time. All right, so now I have a quote for you that I wanted to share for those that stuck around as your reward for staying around. No, I just really love sharing these with you. It helps me kind of always stay in the front of my mind, all these concepts and all these great quotes from these great people. So this one's from Tagore, who's a Sufi poet, who said, "The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence." All right, so I really love that one. I think doing both is really the ideal. So learning some information like we did today with the biomechanics, but also the Tai Chi Flow, giving you an experience, allowing you to feel connected with all beings, with nature, really connected with yourself. All right, so I hope you got those benefits today. And if not, you can always come back, because the more you do it, the more you'll get into the flow. And it'll start to bleed over to your everyday life, so that one day you'll be living your whole life in flow. All right, well, thank you all so much. Let's see. Oh, once again, if you're new to our community, please join me this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, US. It's via Zoom, so you have to register. So click on the link in the video description. It's either above or below the video, and you can register for free. It's going to be about a 1-hour session, 45 to 60 minutes, and it's via Zoom, and then we'll record it. So we'll send you the replay after if you miss it. So register either way. All right, and then once again, if you want to hang out with us in Asheville this summer, then just type in Asheville Workshop, and I'll send you all that information. It's going to be June 5th through the 7th. We're going to do a 3-day workshop. And then finally, we have our Level 1 Tai Chi teacher training, The Crane. It's going to be starting June 25th. So if you're interested in that, you can just type in teacher training, and we'll send you the info link for that too. So, all right, well, thank you all so much for being a part of this community. And until we meet again, I wish you all peace, happiness, and harmony. Thank you.